Hello everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Uther. Today we're going to talk about the three-headed monster going into Wear OS from Google, Samsung, and Fitbit. Earlier this week was Google I/O. I did some videos thinking that based on the rumors they were going to launch the A series and tease Whitechapel. That ended up not happening. It was all about software, Wear OS, AI, new apps, and some other great things I'll be covering in some other videos. Main thing in this video I want to talk about is that Google is finally pushing Wear OS, and everyone that I am seeing that I normally follow that's not part of the mainstream are really excited, and even the mainstream, which says a lot. All right, Wear OS is in a bad place right now. All right, Google hasn't been pushing it, they haven't been updating it, and the major companies aren't really pushing the hardware any further. This was very evident in OnePlus using their own operating system. So you sit there and you have Fitbit, OnePlus, and Samsung making wearables and not using Wear OS. You also have Garmin, which is another very large wearable company, and they're using their own operating system. How can you grow this way and compete with WatchOS that Apple has? And the problem is that Apple had this plan, this vision, and they were in a line, everything's going to work this way. Google had that, but we're letting other companies do whatever they wanted because everybody wanted a piece of the pie. Everybody was poking at Google saying, hey, look, I want a piece of the ad service. I want this, I want that. And finally, Google was able to bring this all together with the purchase of Fitbit and talking to Samsung with all the issues with Tizen and companies not wanting to design for Tizen. The products were selling, but not as well as they could because there were not enough apps on there. And it was all because nobody wanted to design for Tizen. Now everything's going to fall under Wear OS. And it's going to be something that's pushed by Google, the multi-trillion-dollar corporation, and Samsung, and now the popularity of Fitbit together to push Wear OS forward. And we don't actually have that long to wait. Later this summer, it is reported and expected that the Galaxy Watch 4 that comes out and is usually announced in August could be delayed because of the state of the world's chip shortages, will have Wear OS. You have a Fitbit coming out later this year, and obviously the reports and teases of the Pixel Watch being ready to launch later this year, they're all going to have the new updated advanced Wear OS, and more importantly, customization. Google has allowed companies to start customizing the look of Wear OS just like they can with standard Android. This is going to be good and bad, obviously, because we all know how bad Samsung was under TouchWiz and technically still is under One OS, or what do they call that? Samsung One UI. I apologize, One UI. And it's still way more bloated than standard Android, and it does not perform as well as standard Android, but it's a big update to TouchWiz. And it does have some features that's not built into Android, and it's definitely nice to have a little bit of difference between Pixel's Android and Samsung's, as long as they continue to keep this together in WatchOS, where it's close enough to where you're not having issues with the hardware, because we know that we've been on the same Snapdragon chips for years, just rebranding, slightly upgrading the frequency, but not the process node. So going on later this year, I want to see how fast Whitechapel is going to be from Google. Is this also something Samsung's going to be doing? Are they going to be doing Exynos and Whitechapel, or is there going to be a new Snapdragon chip? Hopefully not. I want Qualcomm out of the picture. They're not pushing any more. That's a video for another time, how they're starting to fall behind their competition, even their direct competition. But realistically, this video is Wear OS, right? What's coming? What do we want to see? What is needed from Google and Wear OS to make Wear OS mainstream? All right? What are we going to do to replace the Fitbits? What watches that are on the market are actually going to get this Wear OS update? Because that was another thing Google talked about, was that current models were going to get this update. We all know that's far cry from what's really going to happen, but are we going to see the most recent Versa and Sense from Fitbit, which are less than 6-8 months old now, get this update? is the smartwatch Galaxy Watch 3 going to get this update? Are Fossil watches and Michael Kors going to get these updates? I don't think so, at least not the mid-tier. They're just not powerful enough in my opinion, unless they are going to really figure out how to get Wear OS to run a little smoother and be able to run on the 3100 and 2100, which I highly doubt as long in the tooth as they are. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys want to see out of Wear OS? What are some things? I mean, these are just watches. A lot of people expect so much out of these things, but at the end of the day, they're just a watch on your wrist. They're really just quick commands. Like, it's not made to fully replace your phone, and it won't for at least another 5 years. Tell me what you guys want to see. What brands do you want to see jump on this? Are you happy with what Google's doing with the Pixel Watch and Fitbit under the same umbrella, and then they're bringing on a Samsung? What's the future you see? What's the future you want? And I'll see you guys all next time. Take care.